Hey folks, Christopher Butt here on a warm winter day. It's January again, and the weather is pretty cold. Today, because it's a little bit of a cloud cover, it's warmer. 30s, not the 20s. Don't judge me. I don't know if you're in Florida or one of those southern climates, but for January, it's a pretty decent day. The sun is trying to come out onto my face here. And today we are talking about Morningside Heights. This is the Cathedral of St. John Divine. Well, this is part of the complex. Behind me, we're going to walk from here on 110th Street, further up, different areas. Columbia University is the big elephant in the room or in the neighborhood. And we go all the way up into the 120s, got some beautiful buildings there. And we're bounded by Riverside Park and the Hudson River. So let's go take a look. So I said this is the Synod House. I think it was built before the cathedral and still in use today for various cultural events. This cathedral is the largest Gothic style cathedral in the world. Here we have Amsterdam Avenue. There is the Hungarian pastry shop. A lot of people have gone there over the years. It's been there decades and decades. VNT's Italian Pizzeria, which I believe is under different management, but yes, we've all gone there in our college days, graduate school days. And here's the cathedral. So the cathedral is built by hand in true Gothic style, not completed. Won't be for another 100 or so years. Most cathedrals take a couple hundred years to build. This is the largest, so all sorts of difficulties, financial, 9/11, there was a fire. There's a spring under one of the wings of this cathedral. I don't mean that wing over there, that's a statue. But it's also a large cultural complex. They have events from all different walks of life. They have whirling dervishes. They have the animals on the St. Francis of Assisi, and they have inside in the back there are chapels for various different denominations. Even though this is an Episcopal cathedral, there are a lot of denominations and religions involved, as well as cultural and artistic. There's a lot of artwork. So it's quite a community space and also breathtaking. It extends an entire block here from Amsterdam all the way to Morningside Drive, which is another one of the boundaries of this neighborhood. And on the other side of Morningside Drive is Morningside Park, which drops back into Harlem and then down the Upper West Side. So here's a community garden. I don't think we've encountered too many in our previous videos, but community gardens are great space for neighbors to grow things, gather. And certain neighborhoods, they are the only green spaces that exist. Of course, here we're bounded by Riverside Park, Morningside Park, and then a few blocks away, Central Park. So that's not true here, but this is a nice little oasis. It's wintertime, so not as pretty as it can be in the summer. Okay, so I guess they have some sort of watering system from the sun. There's a nice little gazebo in the back over there. Not open today, but on weekends, especially in the good weather. And the cathedral here extends all the way from that building, which is a rental building, to that building, which is another rental building. And they, I believe, lease the land from the cathedral, because the cathedral is a standalone church, even though it is the cathedral of the Episcopal Church, and was running into some financial difficulties. So they leased the land to rental developers who built some modern flats, apartments. We also have some elderly homes for the elderly. I think it might be, yes, and then there's another one there. Some of these are hospital homes for people who are in need of rehabilitation and all that stuff. So we're now at the front of the cathedral to get a good idea. This is not the most impressive view because it looks smaller here, but it does go all the way down the hill. Now, that over there is a hospital, part of the Mount Sinai complex. Used to be St. Luke's. So you do have a fully operating hospital with emergency room, etc. Up there's a bridge across. That's part of Columbia University. The little red brick building with the red tiles is Casa Italiana, gifted to Columbia University by Mussolini. Well, the government of Italy. Some more pre-war buildings. We're going to walk on 112th and get to the other side there. Show you some of Broadway. So the clouds have come back over. It's a little not as sunny as it was. Still pretty bright, still cold. Behind me is a Hungarian monument. I used to live on this block for many years in the previous century. So we're by Riverside Drive. Riverside Drive is very wide and winding, and it's on the other side of Riverside Park. And through the trees, you can actually see the Hudson River. This is still Morningside Heights, even though we came down a little hill here from Broadway. Beautiful old buildings along Riverside Drive. Pre-war, all used to be rentals at one point, mostly co-ops now. And then you have these carriage drives. So this is the street, that's Riverside Drive over there, two-way. And this is a carriage drive. So it's part of Riverside Drive, but in the old days, the carriages would come by here and drop off people at their apartments. You can see this is, probably would get a carriage in here. Beautiful work. You got a few little townhouses stuck in between. I think some of them actually are Columbia fraternities, maybe not these. And further down, which is I guess more Upper West Side, there are mansions. There are a couple of beautiful old mansions, marble mansions. But as you can see, everything is pre-war. Probably protected, those buildings. 420, very big building over there. And let's see if we can get across here. There's not much traffic today. It's Monday, the day after New Year's weekend. Car just sitting here. Okay, maybe waiting for me to cross. And so behind me is the stately buildings of Riverside Drive. In front of me is the promenade. Well, it's a walkway here, up and down Riverside Drive. I think I mentioned in one of the other videos, starts Riverside Park in earnest starts at 72nd Street. Beyond that are newer developments. Well, this park is well over 100 years old. Looks like they're doing some work around here. Interesting fact, there are no statues in Riverside Park. You can see the highway down there. That's the West Side Highway, and then the river. So there are many levels here. All the statues are on the upper level. So we did see the Hungarian monument over there. There's Joan of Arc. There are a few different statues along the way. And then every few blocks, there's a way to get down into the park. So it's nice to be living on one of those. Here, 115th Street looks like there's a way to get into the park. I think 108th Street has one. 116th, which is the main Columbia University drag. The gates are on Broadway, but that's 116th Street. That definitely has an entrance into the park. There are some tennis courts down there. There are various basketball courts, and there's a promenade down. So there are, again, different levels. We tried to go see the 79th Street boat basin in one of the videos, but it is being renovated. To give you an idea. All the different levels here. In the winter, it's easier to see. In the summer, it's covered by trees and leaves. Over there you see some of the Columbia buildings, the green copper roofs. So we'll be heading in that direction. People taking walks, even though it's cold. I think that's the building that's one of the fraternities over there. Most of the fraternities are on 114th Street, but this, I believe, is called St. A's. Beautiful townhouse mansion. And many of the buildings up here will belong to Columbia University. So we're going to come up on a half block that is Claremont Avenue. So I'm walking up Riverside Park to 116th Street, a very important street, a two-way street. And this two-way street goes from Riverside Park here. This is the entrance I was mentioning. It goes down to the tennis courts and so on inside the park. erected by the Women's Health Protective Association of New York City to commemorate its 25th year of activity on behalf of the public health, 1884 to 1909. Well, it makes us feel young, doesn't it? Water fountains there for runners, and walk down, roll down, and then you have the, as I said, the drive and the river. So let's go up 116th Street, and we will see the beginnings of Claremont Avenue. And Claremont Avenue is a half block between Riverside and Broadway. No one coming down this side. So in New York, we do a lot of this. We just cross the streets if there are no cars coming. And even if you have the light, you still need to make sure there's nothing coming at you. Beautiful buildings here. Curved windows facing the river and Riverside Park. Now steep uphill from the river up to Broadway. And this is Claremont Avenue. That over there is the beginnings of Barnard College. Barnard College is part of Columbia University, but it's a women's college. In 1983, Columbia undergrad became co-educational, 50-50. As you know, most of the Ivy League schools had men's schools, women's schools, Harvard and Radcliffe, and so on and so forth. But Columbia went 50-50. Columbia College undergraduates. The graduate school always had women. But Barnard is still 100% women. This is where the campus starts, goes all the way up Claremont Avenue, and we will see a nice building up there in Claremont, 100 Claremont. One of my professors lives here in the Peter Miniwit, so I've been in there a few times. And there's the building with the square windows called the God Box, just before Riverside Church. But we're going to go up 116th and leave that for another time. There's actually the cafeteria in here. There used to be faculty housing, some dorms. This is the most important. Hello. A lot of noise here, but hopefully you can still hear me through the mic. We have a whole set of food carts that are mainly for students and faculty, I guess. Not as many right now because school is not in session. Those are the pearly gates, Columbia University, 116th Street. Not looking so good right now. I guess they're open and they're doing some construction. The brick always needs work. Hi, Christopher Budd here, continuing our tour of Morningside Heights. Obviously, one of the big players here is Columbia University. So behind me are gates and campus, western part of the campus actually. And that is not the chapel, but Earl Hall, which is sort of a religious community center inside the campus. I can't go in there right now. I will try to get access later in the year when the school reopens. As an alumnus, I should be able to do that. And on the other side here, we have Barnard College, which is right across the street from Columbia, all women. And this very compact campus here between Broadway and Claremont Avenue. Broadway has these malls. They call them the Broadway malls. These are dividers between the uptown and downtown, but they have a lot of shrubbery and maintained gardens. Sometimes you get some really good art exhibits, usually in the summer, that go up and down these Broadway malls on the Upper West Side. So now we're crossing over to the western side. So we are going to go a little further up to 120th. Now between 120th and 122nd, I have a couple of beautiful buildings, brand new condominiums. And a lot of people obviously who have some sort of affiliation with Columbia would like to live there. Not everyone can afford those, but this is again the campus area for Barnard College, campus area for Columbia University. And that is a newish building over there, which has some kind of student center in it, classrooms, I think chemistry maybe. And there is an entrance on that corner that one of my clients takes all the time because I got him a place, helped his family buy a place at Claremont Hall, which is 100 Claremont Avenue. And then beyond here, the red buildings we're going to see on 120th those are Teachers College. Looks like a whole block of one building, but there are multiple buildings there. And a pool. Barnard used to have a pool, maybe they still do. Columbia has 2 pools. Teachers College has a pool. And alumni can use them for the price, obviously. Everything costs money. And the further you are out from your graduation date, the more you have to pay. Assume you have a good job and you're able to pay more. Anyway, that's all Teachers College over there. And behind it, as you clear this bus stop, a nice bus stop's here, 104th. I'm sorry, the 104 rather. There's the bus, the 104. It goes up and down Broadway. We have the M4, which turns on 110th Street to go east. So the 104 goes up pretty far. The 104 goes further up to the Bronx. And there you see the M60 Select bus. I believe that stops over here. That is a very special bus. It goes from here all the way to LaGuardia Airport on a plain city fare, which happens to be $3 as of this year. For $3, you can get all the way to LaGuardia Airport. It goes right through to all the terminals. Anyway, back to Teachers College here. Those red brick buildings. This whole block all the way to Amsterdam Avenue. Behind we see the Van de Water. It's a fairly tall building up there. Condominium. Fairly new, I guess within the last 5, 6, 7 years. It's hard to determine with this pandemic. It started, I think, just before the pandemic. So they are mostly occupied, but they do have apartments available. And we are going to turn our attention a little further west. This is the Theological Seminary, and over there is Riverside Church, one of the largest bell towers in the world. The carillon, which is with the set of bells. Some of them are tiny, some of them are as big as an automobile. You can take the elevator up to the 20th floor and walk through the bells. They play, I think there's a small charge. I paid a quarter many years ago, but I'm sure it's more now. And behind all this, part of the land of this theological seminary is 100 Claremont, which is, again, a beautiful condominium. I have put clients both in this one and in Van de Water, so I can attest to the beauty, amenities, modernity, and pricing's not horrible compared to certainly further downtown, where new developments tend to be very, very expensive. There's Riverside Church. For many, couple years it had scaffolding, cleaned it all up, redid the windows, and here is, I think I may have mentioned earlier, the God Box. The God Box here on Claremont Avenue, half avenue between Broadway and Riverside. And Claremont Avenue has a lot of professors' houses down there, apartments, professor housing. That's Riverside Drive. And up here, this is the God Box, which is home to a lot of church offices. Many of the churches in the city have their main headquarters in the God Box. All these square windows. On this side again is Barnard College. You can see new and old all mixed together. And let's cross 120th here. And as you can see, the architecture of this building blends in with the seminary. Beautiful tower, many views of the rivers, amazing views of Columbia campus from up there, and a beautiful pool, which was in one of the original seminary buildings. So it has amazing chandeliers. Hopefully I can hook you up with some of that video that I have already on my YouTube, but I can look for more. This is again Riverside Church with the large bell tower, carillon. Now the next set of buildings beyond this 100 Claremont or Claremont Hall and the seminary is Manhattan School of Music. So the Manhattan School of Music was actually once housed Juilliard, premier music school of New York and the country. You can see here's Claremont Hall, but they moved. So Juilliard moved out of here and moved down to Lincoln Center. Might have shown you some of that in one of my Lincoln Square videos. But this one here used to be Juilliard, now is the Manhattan School of Music. If you look at the front there, they took out the stone that said Juilliard and they put in a new stone called Manhattan. Not many years ago, obviously. There's a pretty little park here that has some very nice blossoms in the spring. So there's Vandewater, and just as the Claremont Hall took over or purchased land from the Theological Seminary here, Union Theological Seminary, Vandewater did that earlier with the Jewish Theological Seminary. They purchased some of their land and built this tower behind. I helped all these institutions, except for, of course, Manhattan School of Music, which is on its own. These are all Manhattan School of Music dorms. And then, again, on the other side of Riverside Church, we go up to this lovely little park. Let's get up these stairs here. Some famous general. Butterfield, 1831 to 1901, maybe? Well, not sure who he was. But this is a beautiful park. And in the spring, these flowers are gorgeous. At the other end of this park, you see a little gazebo there. And that is International House behind that. Sort of a dorm for international students, many of whom will go to Columbia. Obviously, some will go to Manhattan School of Music, possibly other parts of the city, other schools, but for international students. They have nice mixers, parties, and some of my neighbors actually met there. One of those parties and got married many, many years ago. So here we're coming back towards Riverside Park. This is a very important monument, the tomb of Ulysses S. Grant and his wife. A lot of people revered him, a lot of people hated him. He was the general for the Union in the Civil War, killed a lot of Southerners, and then became president. So here lies the remains of Ulysses S. Grant. And beyond that is Riverside Park, the highway, the river, the Hudson River, and we can go up a little further here, but not much to see. We go into a new neighborhood. All these buildings are either rentals, co-ops that go up to about 125th. That's where everything changes. There's a big cross town. So this park, actually, I was trying to think of the name. It's Sakura Park. Sounds very Japanese, and that's because of the blossoms that were, I believe, gifted. Let's see what it says over here. In the springtime, 2 acres. Wow, I didn't know that was 2 acres. Sakura Park, between Riverside Church and International House, which is a building I mentioned earlier. 2,000 cherry trees delivered to the parks in New York City from Japan in 1912. Okay, well, there it is. There is the bell tower at Riverside Church and Claremont Hall. That little landing up there, the public space where we were probably a couple months ago. It was nice weather. So, Christopher Butt here, giving you a little tour of Morningside Heights, including Columbia University, the Manhattan School of Music, Riverside Church. There's a hospital down, used to be St. Luke's, and was taken over by Mount Sinai, so they call it Mount Sinai West? No, not sure. There's another Mount Sinai as well. And we go down to Morningside Park on that side, which slopes into southern Harlem.
Otherwise, come down and visit anytime. Due to the amount of use swap, which is even
renovation going on. Will be done by the end of the year.
Whatever it is, better location, better design. But we have this. I mean, one would hope.
I'm hoping sunshine for
Very sunny today.
Really quick.
Ah, thank you.
I saw her. I remember you introduced to her.
Yeah, so I was working on that building, and their prices were,
I think so. Yeah, no, we do a big range. I mean, Pork and Sunshine in general and in this building. Yeah, huge range.
Well, good stuff, but, I haven't been here since your last event, so it's good seeing you.
Wow. That's the most you'll ever have. And it's different to your review. So of course, floor on floor is very.
Elizabeth, you're out. If no men in Speedos, you're out.
forget it.
Second floor, we're connected a little bit to the building. Team lounge there. Nice kind of.
Did, and I like the, really.
Music club, is it? There we go. They always boast of the Vandewater blue, the Vandewater blue felt on the table.
Oh, is that
It's
right?
custom.
I didn't know that. Wow, okay, that is a change. You should be pointing that out. What's up with that?
Somebody pointed it out to me a few times. So.
Maybe it's reserved one, so we've probably thrown it out.
Got it.
Yeah, I showed her the Vandewater blue on the billiards table.
Yes, I saw that.
Is it here?
I'm excited to see the new building coming in next to Apsley.
Yes.
We're more than the last 5 years of it has been. So this is our third garden.
Thank you. That's nice space. I mean, it's a good spot. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a lot of spaces to do that, inside and outside.
Spots,
Yes.
no showers.
That's fine.
So yeah, everything's included here. Dance, pizza. It is, yeah, exactly. And I think, well, even just on the west side, there's don't have as many buildings. We gym too. I feel like they should go on the east side, so it's.
Yeah, no, I agree.
From South for us to really separate ourselves. They're a lot cool. They have a sauna.
Nice hot treatment.
Okay, we have a sauna on the other side of the water.
Yeah, that was a man.
They will be, or no, they currently are. It's about 2,000. So all in your on based on square footage. So 2,000 on first floor, third floor would be the same as 2,000 on the
Got it.
31st floor. Oh wow. Different for the taxes. Though.
A real advantage, right?
8-bed, 2.5 bath. This is 14th floor facing north and west. To the north is Morningside Gardens. Put a lot of money into the grounds there over the last 3 years.
We did all those gardens.
Finally
Yeah.
finish.
Yeah, I did a couple of deals there where there was nothing but scam. And the square footage here is
1450. It's nice. The bedrooms are a really nice size, both en suite with a powder room. This is a nice kind of home. Our other 2-bedroom is nice.
Oh, I love this thing. Oh, I thought there was one that slid out.
Yeah, ours doesn't slide. In the corner it does, in the corner piece here. This is nice.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, yeah. Nice.
nice. This is a low balcony here last week.
The back is always the same, the island will dark red. did. We took it away from 101, 178. It's part of the building will own the unit, which is great. And
Size apartment.
yeah, you just limited it.
Hi, we're at one of the extremities of a neighborhood called Morningside Heights. This is a neighborhood most commonly known to be the Columbia University neighborhood. This area here is sort of between campuses. The main campus is 116th Street. Well, that's the main gate. Extends from about 114th through 120th. That's where Street Teachers College is. And then it keeps going on. But these are a lot of professors' houses on Claremont Avenue. But up here, they have a new campus that starts 125th and goes up. So we are going to confine ourselves to Morningside Heights right now and look at the beautiful park behind us. So that's the elevated portion of Riverside Drive, and there is an entrance to the West Side Highway around there. But here we have Riverside Park. See what we find here. It's supposed to stop. General Grant Memorial, so that's further down, Grant's tomb. And here we go up the stairs. Very hilly part. As we go further north, it gets hillier and hillier, especially up in Inwood, which is another neighborhood. But as you can see right here, we have multiple levels. We have buildings down there. Stairs we're still going up. And the grass is definitely greener on that side over there. Once again, we're here 124th, 125th. This is Riverside Drive. M5 bus comes up here and keeps going through other neighborhoods. There is the Hudson River on that side, but this is sort of the northern extremity of Morningside Heights. Christopher Butt here. Follow, like, and reach out to me with any questions about neighborhoods in Manhattan, living here, maybe even some parts of Brooklyn. Happy to help you with other parts of the city, the country, the world, so long as we have affiliate offices that we can refer to. Again, Christopher Butt with the Corcoran Group.